Hello everyone, and let's do a book talk about Alice by Christina Henry. This is not the romance author. That I did think that when I first picked that up that this was the author duo where it's one name for both of them, but this is a completely different author. Alice by Christina Henry is I can't remember if it was classified as young adult or adult. It definitely can straddle that one line. At times it felt more YA, sometimes it did get a little dark, and so it felt more adult, especially because of the content. So I would say more adult because of the content. This is a fantasy horror. This is a retelling of Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. This is part of a series. There are 3 books. This is the first one in the series, and the series is called The Chronicles of Alice. In this case, the main character, Alice, is 23 years old. A bit of the first bit takes place at a mental asylum. Alice is there. She shares a room with, not a room, but like there's a wall separating the two. Her and a man who I believe to be the Mad Hatter. At one point they do escape due to something happening at the asylum, and the Mad Hatter is helping her find the White Rabbit. The White Rabbit has laid claim on Alice, and Alice wants to free herself from this claim and has resigned herself to the fact that in order to do so, she has to kill him. So they're trying to find the White Rabbit. Tweedledee and Tweedledum do make an appearance, as do the Cheshire Cat and the Caterpillar. So there's a lot of the characters do pop up. They are more in this book rather than the creatures in the original Disney Alice in Wonderland. They are people, actual people. The fantasy part comes from the fact that various characters do have magical abilities. There are talk of someone being a magician and not knowing that they are a magician, but realizing that when they think or speak certain things, sometimes they come to fruition. And there was an audiobook available. It was narrated by Jenny Sterlin, and it is 8 hours and 28 minutes on standard one-time speed. So that's really all the book is about, is just we are just following Alice as she is on this journey with the Mad Hatter and meeting various characters from I'm going to keep comparing it to the Disney movie adaptation because I have not read the original. I do want to read the original. I do have a copy of the original. I just have not read it yet. I do like the story of Alice in Wonderland, at least the Disney adaptation of it. The original Disney adaptation from what was that, like the 60s or 70s? I don't know. I do like that movie. And we are following different characters. They do pop up, like I said, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, the Cheshire Cat, the White Rabbit, obviously. You do have someone that Alice knew, and then there's talk of betrayal and things like that. So it is dark. It does get gory and things like that. You do have, like, the Caterpillar is in charge of a brothel type place where these women are kept in cages and they are forced to dance and strip, and if a client wants to have sex, they are forced to have sex with said client. So you have a lot of talk of the mental asylum that is referred to. You have a lot of blood. If you don't like blood in books, there is a lot of blood in this. You have attempted rape and rape on the page. So just be cautious going into this. It is very dark. You have poor treatment of people in said mental asylum. It does give the vibes that this was, in an earlier time setting, but more fantastical. And so there's a lot of mistreatment of people that are struggling mentally. You have voyeurism depicted as well. You have animal harm, human trafficking. There is a lot of talk of people going into, for example, like if you were to go to a hotel and then this mob enters the motel and they'll take some of the guests or whoever they want, and then they'll be sold to said brothel type situation. So you do have human trafficking in this. In addition to animal harm, you do have animal death. You have people being drugged not knowing they're consuming something that has been drugged. And in addition to the blood, you do have gore. And generally when there's blood, there is gore because blood is gore. But I do separate them when it is different compared to just the blood. So yeah, so it's kind of like a species swap. Those that are animals are human in this world. So it was definitely interesting. Again, when I say I don't know if I only know they're animals because of the Disney movie. So, I don't know in the book if they're animals or not. As far as the vibes, I did see the Tim Burton adaptation. I would say it's darker like the Tim Burton movie, but where this is a book, I would say it's just a little bit darker than the Tim Burton. So if you've seen the Tim Burton adaptation, which I have seen, it's been a long time. If you have seen a Tim Burton adaptation of Alice in Wonderland, it's just a little bit darker than that. So that's what the book is about. So you're just on a journey as she tries to free herself from said white rabbit. Okay, so in case you're still on the fence, if you're like, okay, I can handle the content and the trigger warnings, and it sounds intriguing, but what are the words in case something passes a certain threshold for you? You have the word breast popping up 6 times. Hell, once. Hellion, once. Rape, 4. Defile, twice. Fondle, once. Pound, once. Suck, twice. Tumble, once. Member, once. I'll use sexually explicit. The word asshole, once. Damn, 3. Grope, once, and wench, twice. So quite due to the human trafficking, when stuff like that pops up, it's a lot of talk that gives that it is sexist, it is very degrading to women type of a talk. So just be cautious going into it. Alice is 26, and so I would definitely say, because the main character is 26 and how dark this book gets, it is definitely more for adults. And the edition that I read was 292 pages. Let me know, have you read this book? Is this something, knowing what's in it, that intrigues you, or does it kind of put you off on this book and makes you say, I better give it a pass? Definitely let me know. Talk to me in the comment section below. And until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I will talk to you later.